Vasopressin, which is referred to as antidiuretic hormone, specifically by human anatomists, is a hormone that is synthesized in the supraoptic nucleus of the hypothalamus. And it is synthesized as a result of high blood osmolarity. So there are osmoreceptors inside of the hypothalamus that pick up on the ion or nutrient levels, right? Because that's what's going to dictate that blood osmolarity. Okay, and so this is referred to as a humoral stimulus. Okay, so that humoral stimulus, which is the high blood osmolarity, results in the release of vasopressin or ADH, antidiuretic hormone. So one of the things that we have to remember is that a high blood osmolarity is often the result of a decreased water volume, right? Because if you have less water, right, you have more parts of stuff to water, so you have a higher osmolarity. So if we have low water content, this is often going to result in low blood pressure because we have less fluid volume, right? So ADH is going to basically do two things. It is going to increase our water retention, and it's going to increase BP by causing vasoconstriction. So we're going to make the tubes, the blood vessels, smaller. Okay, so two different pathways, which means it has two different targets. Okay, so this is as a result of it targeting the collecting ducts in the kidney. And this is a result of it targeting smooth muscle in blood vessels or surrounding blood vessels. Okay, so two different targets are in the kidneys. It's going to result in the production of channels that move water across the cell membrane, so aquaporins, right? And that's going to be a cell membrane channel, right? So that's going to be a protein, so it's going to be protein production. In the smooth muscle surrounding the blood vessels, it's going to result in smooth muscle contraction. So the two different targets result in two different impacts, right? So remember when we talked about it is the hormone receptor interaction that dictates the result. Vasopressin is a very good example of that because it has two different receptor types in two different locations, and it results in two different impacts, right? So let's take a look at sort of the steps that are going to lead us to the release of our vasopressin. Okay, so step one is that high osmolarity levels detected. And that's going to be detected inside of the hypothalamus. Okay, as a result of that, vasopressin is going to be released from our pars nervosa or posterior pituitary. Okay. So then the vasopressin is going to travel in the bloodstream to the kidneys and blood vessels, or more specifically, the smooth muscle surrounding the blood vessels, okay? So we are going to separate this out into two different components here. We're going to do 4A, and we're going to do 4B over here. So we'll do our blood vessels over here, and we'll do our kidney over here, because two different results from two different places. Okay, so in the kidney, the vasopressin is going to bind to receptor on cells of the collecting duct. So of your collecting duct. And that's a specific region inside of the kidney, which we'll talk about when we talk about the kidney, right? And it is going to use the cyclic AMP pathway. Okay. Why is it going to use the cyclic AMP pathway? Because it's going to result in protein production, and that protein is going to be the aquaporin channels. Okay? And those aquaporins are going to embed in the cell membrane, and it's going to result in an increase in water retention. We're going to retain more water, and if we retain more water, that will bring our osmolarity down. Okay? So on the blood vessels, it's going to bind to a receptor on smooth muscle. Okay, now remember, this is going to result in smooth muscle contraction, right? So this is going to be the IP3 pathway. Right? So the IP3 pathway is going to result in calcium release from the smooth ER. Okay? And that is going to lead to smooth muscle contraction. And that smooth muscle contraction is going to decrease the diameter of the tubes and cause what we refer to as vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction. Right? And vasoconstriction, right, when that happens, will result in an increase in blood pressure. Okay, so vasopressin, or antidiuretic hormone, has two different targets, two different pathways, two different results from those different places.